There are 6 people already watching. We will wait for some more people to join, like 2-3 minutes. We'll wait.
Will you be monitoring the chat?
Yeah, definitely. They can post the questions in the comment box. So again, I will moderate it at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, I will be here. If not me, if some technical issues happen, the other people will join. Yeah.
Let's see.
Already 9 people are there. So we will start once like 10 people come, we will start. Yeah. 11. So actually, as per schedule, we are 1 minute early. It's 2:59.
That's fine.
Yeah, 3. Okay, we will begin then. So good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to all our audience. Hello, everyone. We are delighted to welcome you all to the first chapter of Bio Battalion webinar series. Today, we are extremely delighted to host Dr. Sarah Wettstadt, the Director of Microbial Communications. But before we begin with the presentation, I would like to take a few seconds to speak a few words about Bio Battalion. We are relatively a nascent, not-for-profit group started by a group of like-minded science students at the early phase of their career in science. Through this group, we try to communicate and educate youngsters at the earliest phases of their career about the prospects, possibilities, and avenues of a career in biology. To that end, we try to organize webinars on a perpetual basis and work closely with academicians, industrial researchers, science communicators, and journalists. Our vision is to train students in the art of science communication for better in-reach and outreach. In essence, we try to provide youngsters a free platform to discover and explore the diversity and vastness of biology. In addition to that, we are also inviting original creations from interested people to freely host on our Bio Battalion science blogs. This initiative, we believe, would eventually help them become better communicators of their science. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so to receive instant notifications on our upcoming events. And audience may post their questions in the comment box, and we will moderate it at the end of the presentation. Now, without further delay, let me introduce to our speaker, Dr. Sarah Wettstadt, to you all. A few words about Sarah. Dr. Sarah Wettstadt is a microbiologist turned science writer and communicator working on various outreach projects and helping researchers talk and write about their scientific results. Her overall vision is to empower through learning. She shares scientific knowledge with scientists and non-scientists and coaches scientists in writing about their research. Sarah is blog commissioner for Fems microblog and was a social media editor for Fems for 1.5 years. She is also the website manager and co-founder of Stemcognito, a platform publishing STEM-related videos. Previous to her science communication career, she worked as a postdoc in Marian Lamas's lab on Pseudomonas aeruginosus' ability to use heterologous ion sources, and completed her PhD with Alan Phillips, investigating the type 6 secretion system in Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Now, over to you, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this nice introduction. So I'm just gonna go full screen now, and it should work, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes. Okay. Okay, I'm so glad to be here and to be able to talk to you today. So I boldly titled my talk From the Bench to the Beach, a scientific career as sunny as you make it, because I believe that if you want to do something, if you want to change your career, if you want to make something amazing, you're always able to do this. And I decided for myself that I do not want to be in the lab anymore, and I want to live wherever I want, especially rather in the sun than in the lab. So this is what I'm doing now. So just a bit about myself. I started my scientific career basically in 2014 when I did my PhD in microbiology at the Imperial College in London. And as some of you might know, as a PhD student, you don't really have much time. There's only focus on working in the lab and trying to get some results, trying to learn as much as possible, get those results and publish them, and at the end, write a PhD thesis. And afterwards, I moved to southern Spain, to Granada, where I did my postdoc, still in microbiology. And I did my postdoc there for 2 years. And then the beginning of last year, I learned that my contract was not going to be extended. And I decided, okay, when the pandemic hit, now this is the time for me to actually leave the lab, leave academia, and start my own scientific career and make this journey my own. So I founded the blog Bacterial World just as a side project at the beginning. I'm going to talk a bit more about this later. And I tried to gain as much experience outside of lab work as possible. So I tried different endeavors like science communication, science writing. I joined the Fems, the Federation of European Microbiology Societies, and I wrote a couple of pieces for the scientific journal Environmental Microbiology. And I really learned that I enjoy writing about science and understanding science and disseminating scientific knowledge and communicating science. And my friends were always like, oh my God, Sarah, you're so passionate when you talk about science and when you talk about your bacteria. So yeah, I just decided I'm going to make a career out of it. So I tried to carve out my niche, which is how they call it, trying to find what is it that I actually want to do with my life, with my career? How do I want to live? And I ended up founding my own business, which I called Microbial Communications, or short MicroComms, because I think communications about microbes is super important, and especially now. And I started a new project as well, together with some other people, which I'm also going to introduce, which we call Stemcognito. And yeah, then now I'm able to basically live wherever I want, do whatever I want, work from wherever I want. So for example, beginning of this year, I spent 6 months in Gran Canaria. I was literally working during the day and working at the beach and just living the life while in Europe the pandemic was still hitting and travel restrictions were on. So yeah, that's why I find this title really fitting for this talk. Okay, so just a bit about what I'm actually doing. So I founded the business Microbial Communications, and the mantra of my work is that I want to empower people by sharing knowledge. What do I actually mean with this? There's basically two ways. First, I want to empower science enthusiasts, so everybody who's actually interested in science. And what I'm doing is I want to inform on important scientific or microbiology topics, because I think that if you have the right knowledge and you have the right background knowledge and you know all the facts about a certain topic, you can actually make better decisions based on those scientific facts. And with these decisions, you can make a better life for yourself, you can live a healthier life, you can be able to protect the environment better, you can do better to protect the climate change, and in general, just make better decisions for your life, for everybody else's life, for this planet, for the climate, for everything. And to achieve this, I also need to help scientists or empower scientists by providing science communication or science writing tools to help them become better at science communication and help share scientific knowledge, so disseminate scientific facts, both amongst scientists, but also amongst non-scientists. And obviously, by helping or by communicating science, you always advance the scientific field as well, because if other scientists learn about more scientific topics, they can use this knowledge for their own work. So yeah, by empowering scientists, obviously they become better at science communication, with then feedbacks back into communicating science facts to non-scientists or science enthusiasts. So to achieve this, I have different projects running, and I'm just going to briefly introduce, or I'm going to talk about these more in detail now. So first of all, during my postdoc, I started the blog Bacterial World, which at the beginning was a bit of a trial and error experience. I literally just wanted to see, how do I like blogging? How do I like writing about science? Can I actually handle the whole technological background? Like when I first started, and I was saying to my brother, oh, I want to start a blog, and he was like, yeah, just do it. It's not that hard. People can do it. There's software for this, for people like you. And I was like, well, that is amazing. Let's just try it. So that's exactly what I did. I tried to reach some goals with this blog. I wanted to get people excited excited about bacteria, or take away the fear of bacteria, because most people, when they hear bacteria, they're always like, oh my god, they make me sick, they're dirty. While I'm like, no, bacteria actually all around us, they are helpful for everything that we do. They help us with making food, they help us keep this planet green and healthy, and they're so important. So this is basically what my goal was with this blog. And obviously have fun and learn as much as possible about the whole science communication aspect. And so how did I do this? I learned how to write for your audience, so how to think of your audience, because obviously that is the most important thing in science communication. So I learned, when I write a blog post, what is it that I really want my reader to understand? What key information do I need to convey with this blog piece, with this blog post? And then obviously, why is this fact important to the reader? So I can't just tell the reader, oh, this is important because. No, they need to really understand, what can they learn from this fact for their life? Can they make better decisions with this? Can they improve their health? Can they protect the environment? What is this important thing, and why can they apply this to their lives? And obviously, will my reader understand every technical word in a blog post? Obviously, when scientists talk amongst themselves, a non-scientist or a person from outside the field would never understand that. So what I really learned is, when I write a piece, will the reader know every word that I'm using? And if not, I obviously have to explain them. So for example, here in this illustration, you can see that we try to relate a microbiology topic to non-scientists. So in this case, it was about a bacterium, which is called Bacterium copro. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It doesn't really matter anyway. Important is that this bacterium can live in our gut, and this bacterium can break down cholesterol in our guts. So we obviously related this bacterium back to our guts. What do we find in the gut? There's poop. So we had a poop emoji in there. And because this bacterium breaks down cholesterol, nobody knows what cholesterol is. They obviously heard of it. So we drew this little molecule for cholesterol, and we drew, what does it look like when it's being broken down? And why is this important? We all know that if you have less cholesterol in your blood, it's improving your health. It's better for your health. So in the end, what is the key message? That this bacterium helps you improve your health because it breaks down cholesterol. The next thing, and this, I already showed you basically, how can you engage the reader? For this, I was really lucky that I got Noemi Mate into the team, because she's an amazing science artist, and all the comics that are on the Bacterial World blog are now drawn by her. So at the beginning, obviously, when it was just me, I was trying to make like schematics with the software that is called BioRender, which I still think is really helpful to understand what is going on. But then when Noemi joined, and she actually drew these bacteria with their faces and with their mimics and gestures, and it made it the whole blog a lot more lively and colorful. And I absolutely love working with her, because all the blog posts get a lot more clear and colorful and vivid with this. And obviously we also want to educate the reader, and for this I also like working together with other guest bloggers, because obviously they always have a different expertise. They have different interests than me. So for example, Rachel, she is a regular on the blog. She is very much interested into environmental protection and how bacteria help us make this planet greener. So we shifted our focus from how bacteria impact our health, impact our bodies or our health, into how bacteria actually influence the planet's health as well. So we even started a project within a project, and we called this the How Bacteria Save the Planet series. And yeah, together with Rachel, we published many posts on what bacteria actually do to make this planet greener, how they help us tackle some global challenges that we have. So for example, they degrade bioplastics, and they degrade plastic, and they produce bioplastics. They help us in the medical field. They help us make food. So for example, like all the bread, all the wine, all the beer that you eat and drink, it's all made by bacteria. And we would not have any of that without bacteria. So yeah, this project is really trying to highlight how bacteria make all our lives better and make this planet greener. Okay, and then so that was about my first blogging experience. And then I learned that I actually like blogging, and I like writing, and I like the whole online writing part of science writing. And I started working for Fems, for the Federation of European Microbiology Societies. And at the beginning, I was mainly working as a social media manager. So I wrote social media posts about their recent publications about microbiology and published them on their platforms. And now, with having my own business, they actually commissioned me and my business as a editor and author for the Fems microblog. So this means I work together with scientists, and they usually write posts about their own research, about their publications, and I help these scientists write these science stories, so to make them more accessible to other experts, not from their fields, but from other fields, but they are still microbiologists. I write blog posts for the blog myself about relevant microbiology topics that I find interesting. For example, for the for the International Women in Microbiology or Women in Science Day, I wrote a piece, or I write about the microbiology conferences that I attended and my own experience at them. And yeah, I really enjoy doing that. And then obviously I help Fems disseminate their content both on social media but still on the blog. It's all about communicating science and making science more accessible to everybody. And another one of my babies, which we started the beginning of this year, it's actually such a cool story, because Marta, the one that you see here on the picture as well, she had this call on social media, and she was complaining because she was sitting in Australia, and when the pandemic hit, a lot of webinars or conferences obviously went online, but they were always live. And because she was in Australia, all these conferences and talks were outside of her wake hours. So because obviously, like, whenever something happened in the US, it was like 12 hours behind her when she was asleep. So she was complaining on Twitter about this fact and asking for people to join her on a mission to create a platforms for scientific videos, to make scientific content more available, obviously, and to have to overcome these time zone limitations. So me and 3 others, we joined Marta in her mission, and we founded the project and the business Stemcognito, for which I created the website. So there's now a whole video platform online at stemcognito.org, and every scientist is invited to upload videos about their scientific content, about research papers, about webinars, any STEM-related topic that you can think of, basically. So our goal with Stemcognito is to give scientists a platform to disseminate their research with video content. So it can be either graphical abstracts in videos or PowerPoint presentations that end recorded with a voiceover, whatever scientists want, or however scientists want to communicate their research. We're happy to publish these videos. We obviously want to raise awareness of STEM topics. We want to share STEM knowledge And now, yeah, because previously I was always sharing STEM knowledge or science knowledge in form of written blog posts. Now I kind of shifted as well, because now I'm going towards video content, because obviously we all know how much easier it is to follow a video than reading a text, right? So why is Stemcognito important? Because we all saw that, for example, if you follow science videos on YouTube, or science videos, basically, because everybody can just upload a video to YouTube and say this is scientific facts, while on our platform we are peer reviewing the video content, so we make sure that the scientific content is actually accurate in there. And if it is outside of our own expertise, we invite reviewers to review these videos, to make the video content scientifically accurate. We are also making sure that there's no algorithms that decide which videos our viewers are watching, because you can decide which video you don't want to, which video you want to watch, and we don't need no algorithm to decide that for you. And obviously, we want to help scientists get better at science communication. We want to improve their citations, their impact. We want to give them more visibility and connect with the community, both with the scientific community, but also with the non-scientific community, because on our platform, we also enabled discussions so that scientists and non-scientists, or basically everybody, can ask questions below the videos and engage into discussions with the creator of the video. And what we also do on Stemcognito is we highlight interdisciplinary diversity and female STEM researchers, because we think that these are very much underrepresented, especially in the academic life. So we want to give them some visibility on the platform. And to make all the scientists happy that have kids, we are also working on a kids corner, in which we want to produce video content that are especially targeted or aimed at kids, so to give them help them learn basic concepts of science, of STEM topics in general, and so that Stemcognito is not just for adults, but it's also for kids or for younger adults. And yes, we have, as I said, because we're 5 people on Stemcognito, we have a lot of ideas, a lot of plans. So I just want to talk a bit about these now. So for example, we founded or we created a video interview series, which we called Stemterviews. And in these videos, I talk to STEM professionals and basically interview them via Zoom and give them a voice, let them talk about their research, let them talk about their hobbies outside of science. For example, we had someone talking about mentoring lately on the Stemterviews, which I found extremely important, because especially in academic life, we know how important mentoring actually is to help the next generation of scientists become better and become better mentors as well. So we have these Stemterviews in which we talk to any STEM professional, and I'm really enjoying this right now. Again, it's a completely new challenge for me, because now I'm neither writing, I'm not producing a video, I'm literally being an interviewer and talk to STEM professionals, which is a lot of fun, and I'm learning so much. It's so much fun. Yeah. We also have the opportunity to get volunteers on our platform, so we call them the STEM ambassadors. And with this, we want to help STEM professionals get involved in science communication, get experience in science communication. So whatever your expertise is, you can join us, help grow the platform, make it better, make it more accessible to everybody. Get more content and be creative. Basically, we are 5 people right now. We have so many ideas, but some of them obviously might be more or less feasible depending on who else joins our team. And the sky's the limit, basically. So we are happy to hear from everybody who wants to get involved in this project. And lastly, we also, because we want to make the STEM content super accessible, we also know that this is only possible with providing different languages. So in our team, we speak 4 different languages, but I mean, on this planet, we have a lot more than this. So we created this team of translators, which we call STEMlingua, and they are translating the subtitles for the videos, or they're creating these, and so that the videos are more accessible, and we can reach an even broader audience with our videos. So now I told you about the projects that I'm working on, and now just to feed back all of this into what I want to achieve with my MicroComms project. So I told you that I want to empower scientists and to give them science communication, science writing tools. I want to share scientific knowledge and thus advance science. And for this, obviously, I'm working with my business itself, because I'm doing actually coaching as well. With the Stemcognito, we are working within the scientific community. And with Fems, I am working together with scientists to help them disseminate their scientific content and write about science. And how do I want to empower science enthusiasts? Obviously, as well with Stemcognito, because we are providing video content on STEM topics, and obviously also with the Bacterial World blog, because that's where I'm actually writing myself on microbiology topics. And yes, as I said, by helping scientists become better at science communication, I help. I want to empower those people that are not experts in the field to make better decisions and improve their lives. So how can I actually help you, or how can I empower you who are sitting in the audience right now? So if you're a scientist, yourself, it's easy. I can help you write your science story. I can help you disseminate your science. I get your science story straight. I can proofread. I edit. I also coach science writing. With the Stemcognito, as I said, I provide you with a platform for your science videos. We also do video consulting, or helping you producing the videos for the platform. I also give webinars like this one, or I produce guides on how to get started in science communication or science blogging, or help you with learning science writing. And also, if you want to have some career advice at some point, I can also tell you how it is possible to actually work from the beach. Both how it is physically possible to work at the beach, it is, yes, and also obviously how to make the right career steps into this direction. And if you are not a scientist expert, or an expert from a different field, I want to empower you by obviously writing science stories for you, publishing these stories for you. I write for different audiences. I write for different target audiences, depending on whether it's kids or young adults, or people that are literally just interested in science, but no scientists. I am happy to write for different audiences. For me, it's like speaking different languages somehow, like depending on who you're talking to, you have to use different words, just as you use different words when talking different languages. For example, we are also currently working on a book for kids, which I'm really excited about. It's still going to take a while, but it's going to come at some point, yes. I also help research institutes or organizations, so for example, nonprofit organizations, to create websites or design their websites, all with the aim to do better science communication. And obviously, as I said, with the Stemcognito, I produce videos, and also we want to do a podcast now, to explain STEM topics, to explain science, to disseminate science to a broader audience. Okay, and if you want to know more about any of these topics, if you want to talk about science communication, science writing, or anything else, or career change, obviously you can contact me, you can send me an email, you can follow me on social media. I'm happy to chat about anything, be it science communication, microbes, or working at the beach. Thank you so much.
That was really, really insightful talk. So thank you, Sarah, for that.
Thank
And
you.
we have some questions from our audience, and I will just highlight some questions, read out to you. So first question is asked by Meghna Chatterjee. She's asking, how can we improve the outreach of a science blog or science communication related website?
Yeah, that's already a really good question. Obviously, it comes already down to who is your audience. Who do you want to reach with your website? Do you want to reach other scientists? Do you want to reach science enthusiasts? According to this, obviously, you need to change your website, display certain, I don't know, videos, topics, illustrations, whatever you have. But it always boils down to who is your target audience.
Even we have the same issue with our website. We need to spread the word to audience to get better reach. And now this is not a question. This is basically Sangeeta Espile. She's also a member of our team. Stemcognito for Kids seems an amazing initiative, exposure and helping them realize scientific facts at their young age. Hats off to this. And
thank you. Yes.
yeah. And audience can post their questions. If you have some questions to ask, they can post the questions in the chat box. And next question is from Parvati JR. She is also a science communicator. She is also the founder of Science in Doses. Her question is, can you please give insights on possible funding options for such initiatives, like science communication, blog, videos, podcasts, or similar outreach programs?
Yeah, that is the story of all our problems as well. We are currently, with Stemcognito, we are currently trying to get funding as well. It is really difficult. I don't understand why. I really think that, especially now, bigger initiatives should be aware that funding is needed, but it's really difficult. I mean, there's bigger programs like the Wellcome Trust, there's the Horizon 2020 in the EU, but they are super competitive. We are really struggling as well with this. We are trying to get funding, and yeah, it's difficult. If I find the good option to fund any science communication project, I will let you know. But seriously, I cannot help you with it, because we actually have someone designated to this topic in the team, because it's so difficult and it takes so much time.
And one more question is from Sangeeta. Can you please bring some light to some of your marketing strategies of the business?
Yeah, as scientists, we are known that we are really bad marketers, and that is actually true. I learned that the hard way myself, because as scientists, we are usually pretty humble, I would say. We don't like to talk too much about ourselves. We don't like to expose ourselves too much. We talk we are always trying to be a bit more humble. So it's difficult. I had to learn that myself. I use a lot social media, obviously, trying to create my profiles there, or like grow the profiles there. Obviously, webinars like these are really helpful, because for example, I don't like talking to I don't like listening to myself. I don't like seeing myself. But right now, I have to look at my the picture of myself. So that's like overcoming your own fear. It's some kind of marketing, I guess, and getting the word out. Otherwise, emails are still really helpful. Just cold emailing universities or organizations that you think you can work with. That's how I got most of my clients as well. Otherwise, networking as well. I mean, when you are in academia, obviously you have a network of scientists that you know, and often they just need someone to help them with their science communication efforts. And they know, oh yeah, I know Sarah, I work with her, or I used to work with her in the lab. So let's see whether she can do it, basically. So yeah, that's basically it. So cold emails, networking, and social media, I would say.
Yeah, That's and another question, like I have personally from my side, is like
Mhm.
uh, usually we get the funding for the research only. So if the funders of the research, they get to distribute some portion of the funding, annual funding, for actually science related activities like communication outreach activities, would that solve the problem we have right now?
It does, yes. A lot of fun, bigger funding programs now. For example, Wellcome Trust, I know they're doing it. They are asking for science communication activities or public engagement activities on top of their research funding. The thing is, or the problem is, not many scientists are actually aware of it, or not many scientists are fans of science communication, so they kind of disregard it. I remember that I applied for fellowships for my postdoc, and I said, "Oh yeah, I have this huge project of for science communication," and the reviewers were saying, "Oh, this takes too much time. This is going to take time out of your research. This is not going to be achievable." And I was like, "Okay, if you don't think this is worth it, then yeah, how are we ever getting better at science communication?" No. So yeah, if you find a scientist who believes in science communication and who thinks that it's important, stick with them and make them fill in this part for the public engagement form. Put yourself into that box so that they already can budget for your work. Otherwise, if they don't believe in science communication, there's not much you can do actually.
And one more question. This is from Ardra. Thank you, Sarah. It was a great talk. Could you please tell how can we bridge the gap between science and the common man?
Oh, the common man. I don't like this at all. Who do you mean with this? Who's the common man? Are you the common man? Am I the common man? No. I guess you mean someone from outside this
Yeah, outside
scientific
science,
field
probably.
that you work
Maybe
in.
labor. Yes, yes, probably. Yes.
Yeah, because the thing is, I always think like an expert in one field is still a non-expert in another field. So is he a common man in this other field? That's why I really don't like this wording. But yeah, anyway, how can you bridge the gap? It's all about language and thinking about which kind of background knowledge does the audience have. As I said, like, will they understand every technical detail? Will they understand all the scientific concepts that you're writing or like talking about in your communication project? Will they know, like, if you do an illustration, will they understand everything? Do you need to, how much detail you need to provide? It's all about thinking, what do they know? How much background knowledge do they have in that field? Do they have the high school knowledge because they never studied this field, or did they actually study, for example, biology, but then they went into molecular biology, but you're talking about microbiology, then they still have some um, basic understanding for your field. It's all about where do they stand and where do you stand, and how do you get them from your perspective, no, from their perspective to yours.
So it's basically about understanding the audience, like
Yeah.
who you want to.
Yeah.
And another question, this person from my side, do you think that bringing science communication into our curricula would empower the scientists to be better communicators of their science? And if you think so, it's like, how can we go ahead with this?
um I think yes and no. It's I like to compare it, for example, if you're working in the lab and you want to do an experiment with a method that you haven't used before. How feasible is it for you to learn that new method if you're not motivated to do so? Do you want to sit down and spend hours or days learning this method, even though you're not enjoying it, just to get this result? Or do you go to an expert who is actually an expert in this method and tell them, okay, this is what I want to achieve, please do this experiment for me? And I think it's the same with science communications. Some people, they just don't enjoy it, and I can totally understand why. Like, some people just don't like writing about science, or write about science for non-scientists, or they don't even enjoy writing papers, to be honest. I mean, there's so many scientists there that just hate writing. So why do we need to we can't force these people into doing science communication. the science communication. So in this case, obviously, I'm here to help them and take the burden off them, do the project for them. But if someone is interested in becoming a better writer, becoming a better presenter, do public speaking, learn how to better communicate their science, then they should definitely do that. They should there should be courses, there should be training at universities to provide them with these skills if they want to. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And are there any more questions? If you have some questions, please put them in the comment box. I guess that's it for the questions part.
That's fine.
Yeah, because I believe the science communication, most people are pretty new to it, because even when we are studying in the colleges also, we don't get to think about science communication because we communicate with our peer group, but never with our...
But even that is a form of science communication, obviously, because you talk about science. It's just that, like there's this expert science communication and basically the communication to non-experts or non-scientists. But I think already writing papers is a form of science communication, obviously, because you disseminate your scientific knowledge.
But the bigger task is again to make the normal people understand, like people who do not have the expertise in it, to understand what this is happening. Especially this is very important when it comes to this COVID pandemic. There are lots of pseudoscientific information revolving around, so people get to believe it. So it's important that in that way. And one more question again from Meghna is, thanks, Sarah. Another very technical question. How long do you think a blog post should be to captivate the audience? Because it is so difficult. Keep an audience reading the information provided.
That's a good question. I mean, a blog post can be as long as you want it to be. I mean, I read blog posts of like 200 words summarizing a scientific concept, and that is totally fine. And then there's, for example, I don't know whether you heard of Ed Young. He likes to write articles of like 10,000 of words, and they are all about science or scientific content. It's all about what you want, what you enjoy, how much into detail you want to go in your piece, whether you want to be specific or just give a summary. But again, it's about who's your audience and who do you want to reach. If you just want to give a broad summary, just do it. If you want to go into detail, do it. I mean, it's all up to you, all your decision.
And one more, this is not a question, from Parvati. Appreciate your statement. If you find a scientist who loves, believes in science communication, stick with him. It's making organization or institutes believe that this is something. So more questions if we have. Otherwise we can end the live broadcast. I think that's it. That's all for the questions.
Okay, thank you. I like these questions. I like this discussion. It was good.
And one more thing, in the description box we have put the link to our website, so people who are interested and still haven't subscribed to our initiative, please do so, and you will get email notifications on our upcoming events. And yes, we are ending the live broadcast.